You stop praying and then the next minute you're asleep. You stop praying and then the next minute that's the end. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Oluwadara Salt, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 6 things that can help you to pray for longer hours or stay longer in the place of prayer. If you are new here, you're welcome to the channel. Please ensure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your comments in the comment section down below. If you are a returning subscriber, you're welcome back. Please ensure you like the video, share the video, drop your comments in the comment section down below. So without further ado, let's get into what we have for today. I personally believe that prayer is one of the basic things that many believers struggle with in today's day and age. Many people want to pray and they just really find it difficult to pray for long. Like, you stop praying and then the next minute you're asleep. You stop praying and then the next minute that's the end. And many people, because of this, have resulted to, well, the Bible says pray without ceasing, so I'm just gonna keep praying throughout my day. Like, every time I remember something, I just pray, I just mutter a word of prayer. I'm in communication with God all the time. But if you watched the video where I talked about becoming a God buddy, building a solid relationship with God, or taking your relationship with God to the next level, I talked about the fact that it is important that you have a time and a place where you pray, because there's something that just does to your subconscious. It's like, this is me and God, this is our moment, and we're together. So I understand that you can talk to God anytime, but separate a time when you actually spend time praying. Like, that's the only thing you're doing. All right, spend time praying and listening to God. So how do you spend more time in prayer? I personally am of the school of thought that as a believer you should be able to pray for a minimum of 1 hour. I didn't jump to this conclusion, but I built this on the part of the Bible where Jesus told his disciples to pray with him, and they dozed off, and Jesus came to tell them, and it was like, couldn't you even watch with me for an hour? It was just one day I was reading that verse and I was like, if Jesus was telling his disciples at the time that they needed to watch with him for at least an hour, that means I should be able to do the same. So I've built my life around that. If you want to pray, do a minimum of 1 hour. If you can't do that, there's nothing wrong with you. So how do you stay in place of prayer? First things first, let me talk about the things that you shouldn't do. Whenever you want to pray, if you know you want to pray for long, don't pray in bed. Don't pray kneeling against your bed, kneeling beside your bed and resting on your bed or the couch. Don't sit comfortably on the couch or lay in your couch praying. You're gonna sleep off. You will sleep off. You will get tired. You will feel so comfortable and feel like you want to sleep. All right, so those are not options for you. What are the things that can help you pray for longer hours? The first thing I have on my list is set an atmosphere of worship with music. So when you want to pray, you get a worship music that you really like, a worship music that gets you there, that gets you really deep in worship, a worship music that helps you pray, and just start praying that every time you want to pray. Put it on repeat, and that should really help you, because it's a worship song that makes you serious about your spiritual life. So that just helps to condition your mind to say, as long as I'm listening to this song, I'm gonna keep praying. So set the atmosphere with worship music. That's the first thing. The second thing that I have on my list that can help you to pray for longer hours is time yourself. Timing yourself is something that has worked for me for about 10 to 11 years. I remember back then I used to pray for 30 minutes. I didn't used to do 1 hour, but I used to pray for 30 minutes. I had this wristwatch, my pink wristwatch, that I would always wear, or maybe just drop on the floor or drop somewhere whenever I wanted to pray, and I would just use that to time myself. Other times when I'm in a place where I have the wall clock, I would use the wall clock to time myself. Another weird thing that I did was to time myself with a candle. This one was hard, to be honest. So let me tell you, the idea is just to buy a very small candle, the tiny ones that don't last for long. Get that small candle and put it on. The moment you put on your candle, start praying, and you tell yourself that you're not going to stop praying until the candle burns out. That is you training yourself. It is not the easiest way, but it's a way to train your mind or train yourself to get better at training. The candle method wasn't my favorite method because, to be honest, at some point I just felt like the time was really slow. So what I used to use was my wristwatch or the wall clock. I would always use a clock to time myself. So when you're timing yourself, you could say, okay, for the first 15 minutes, I'm going to be worshiping, doing nothing but worship. The next 15 minutes, I'm going to be stirring myself up in the spirit. The next 15 minutes, I'm going to be praying for or praying concerning a particular thing or a particular person. So timing yourself really helps you. Now, timing yourself may have a disadvantage, which is you may be tempted to actually check your time. Like, oh, is it time? Is it time? But in order to be able to overcome that, I think one thing that can help you is set an alarm for the time frame that you want to spend with each section. For example, if you've told yourself that for the first 15 minutes, you're going to be doing nothing but worshiping, what you want to do is set an alarm that reminds you once it's 15 minutes, and the alarm that's going to remind you after the next 15 minutes and the next 15 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on how you've separated the time. All right. So second point is set a timer. The third thing that can help you stay longer in the place of prayer is programming your mind. Now, there is something about praying, especially praying in the spirit, that just makes you feel like you spent 5 years praying when you've only spent 10 minutes. And to be honest, that's a thing. So one thing you want to do is program your mind. What I do whenever I'm praying like that is every time I feel like I've prayed for so long, every time I feel like, oh, I've prayed for like 30 minutes, I've spent like 2 hours here, I just tell myself, no, you've only spent 2 minutes. No, you've only spent 5 minutes. No, you haven't prayed for so long. And to be honest, that's the truth. You just haven't prayed for so long. And this is even harder for people who are just trying to put themselves together or trying to train themselves in praying or in prayer. Praying actually requires training, and that's the truth. You have to train yourself and get better at praying. So program your mind and tell yourself that you haven't prayed enough. Another thing, or another reason why it's important for you to program your mind, is you may have been on social media all day without really feeling the need to do anything. You may feel like you may not remember anything, but the moment you decide to stop praying, that minute your first minute in prayer, you just all of a sudden remember all the things that you're supposed to do that you're not doing. And it just comes to you as though if you don't do it at that point, the whole world's going to come crashing. Now, that is a war. That is a war against you praying. So what you have to do is keep a laser focus, which is my fourth point. Keep a laser focus. At that point, what you do is stay in prayer. Force yourself to stay in prayer. Even if you feel like if you don't leave that prayer to go do other things, life's going to come crumbling. Tell yourself nothing's going to happen. Keep your focus on what you're praying about. Keep your focus on the prayers. Now, apart from the first few minutes where you remember all the things that you're supposed to do that you're not doing, another thing that happens in prayer is when you're praying, your mind may wander. You just begin to imagine stuff. You begin to see. That is when you remember that, oh, we cooked beans yesterday and the beans was really nice. Oh, you had seafood okra the other day and it was really nice. My dear, come back. So you must keep a laser focus. That is the fourth point. When that happens, you have to bring yourself back, consciously bring yourself back to what you were praying about. So keep a laser focus is the fourth thing that can help you pray for longer and better. The fifth thing on my list, if you want to pray longer and better, is intercede for people. Yes, you want to pray, you want to stay more in the place of prayer, you should intercede for people, pray for other people. The very interesting about praying for other people is the moment you start praying for one person, you remember the other people that you're supposed to pray for. So you pray for one person and then you just remember, oh, I should pray for this other person too. And then, oh, this other person too. Oh, I should pray for this other person too. And before you know it, you've spent more time in prayer than you planned to. This works every single time. So interceding for people, praying for other people will help you stay more in the place of prayer. All right, pray for people. Don't pray for just yourself. Pray for other people, and don't just pray in passing. Pray passionately for other people. That's the fifth point. Now the sixth and the last point in this video, or for this video, is have a prayer companion. I love this one, and this has to be my favorite method for praying for stay for longer hours in prayer. So have you noticed that every time you have to pray with other people, or maybe you are in the gathering of believers, you're praying with people, praying in church, you don't get tired as fast as you would get tired if you were praying alone? So there is something about hearing other people pray or listening to other people pray that just helps you pray better, or that just makes you want to pray, or that just inspires you to pray, or that just stirs you up to pray. And that is what a prayer companion does. So what is a prayer companion? A prayer companion is simply a recording of other people or you praying. That's it. First time I started using this method was in 2019. I was listening to a music and I just felt like praying. So what I did was I listened to the music for 1 hour, and then I prayed for 1 hour. So I mixed the audio of me praying and the audio of the music together. So I had music playing in the background, and then I have my voice playing as well. So when I listen, I'm stirred up to pray. That is a prayer companion. I don't have that anymore, but I have a different one that I use right now. I was praying on a particular day and I got a sound. It was a chant, and the moment I received that, I recorded it in my phone. And as I listened to it, as I played the recording, I felt like praying. So I prayed and I mixed the audio of the chant and the recording. And that's how I was able to create my prayer companion. It's not rocket science. You can just listen to worship music that you like, or you can use music instrumentals. They really come in handy. And then play that, mix it together with yourself praying, and then you have it. I'm gonna play the audio of what my prayer companion sounds like, so that you have an idea of what I mean when I say prayer companion. So here it is. So guys, that is my personal prayer companion. So you can create something like that by yourself, or if you don't want to go through that stress, if you go to church, get a recording of yourself and other people praying. Get a recording of people praying around you, or get a recording of a prayer session that you'd like. Go to church, record a prayer session, play it over and over and over again. The prayer companion really helps. This morning I wanted to pray and it was a struggle. I kept on dozing off. until I stood up to get my prayer companion. I played it, and that was how I was able to pray. So it helps me a lot, and I really think it will help you a lot as well. So try either of these 6 things or 6 methods and let me know which one worked for you. Thank you so much for staying till this very moment. If this video blessed you, please like the video, share the video, drop comments in the comment section down below, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you so much and have a blessed time. Bye.